welcome back to the RC Barn. We are going to continue on our two builds in 2 weekends challenge. You probably had just watched the first episode. If you haven't, gone back and check her out, and you'll see everything that we've done in the first one. It's about an hour long, so a little bit of a movie there, but I imagine all four of these are probably going to be, well, except for the flight video, next weekend. So anyways, I just wanted to get back started here. We're actually working on the Corsair. I wasn't able to film a whole lot while I was working on editing the video there, so I did jump ahead a little bit and got some more sheeting done on the Corsair. And I just wanted to show, now I've never used these things before, but Balsa USA did send them, so let's give them a try out. There's the what do they call these things again? The glue pipettes. So I understand how they're supposed to work. You pull your fuel out of your bottle and put it up in there, and it gives you a real fine and long reach in here. And that has been super nice up here on this nose piece where I can't really get in there. And I wanted to hold this, and I'm using thin CA at the same time to put it all together. I should have probably glued all these sheets together before I did that, but we all make mistakes there. So I'll just show you real quick how this thing works. If I can maybe get it on the video here, would be nice. Of course, everything's just gonna fall over. Tomorrow I'm gonna reorganize. I already set it down on the table, and would highly recommend that you have something to set these down on. Let's make sure we're putting this in right. So, yeah. That is going to be correct. So you can see I'm just barely pushing this and getting, well, I guess you can't see. Sorry about that. Maybe a little underarm action here. Really starting to like this camera. I can get it right in here and it's not really in my way. Just trying to get everything lined up here. Yeah, there you go. You can see some of that wicking action. What do you guys think of this so far? Pretty neat, huh? So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of the idea there. So, and then the other thing I can do is I'll flip this over. Don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see, but yeah, this is going to be hard. Let's switch it back up here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to start curving this around, see, like so, and then I can reach down in here and glue it on. Well, unfortunately, it is, what, Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? I'm not sure. Let me look. Yeah, it's Tuesday, so we got a couple more days before work ends. I work thirds. I don't know if I told you, the dang flies are just insane around here anymore. Anyway, so it's Tuesday, it's 1:30. I have a few hours before I gotta like go eat dinner and then get ready for work and stuff. So, anyways, talked to a few buddies this afternoon, and I ran into a little bit of a problem with the Corsair. As you can see, I got the top sheeting on here. See right there, and from what I can tell from the plans, is it wants me to fold this piece over here, and you can see how severe of a bend that's going to be. Now we could get the balsa to do this. A lot of soaking and with Windex and stuff would get it going there, but it's not very scale either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut the canopy open, but I'm going to add a spine here, a balsa spine, probably a quarter, half-inch thick, and then I'm going to shape it, round it. That's going to be a lot easier, and then I'll just trim this to size to add to the side, if that makes any sense. So anyways, one thing I realized after editing the last video is that the time lapse, it's just not very fast. That video should have been 30, 35 minutes, and I with my editor and stuff, I couldn't get it to go fast enough like I usually do. So the phone has came back out on my stand there. That's my camera set up there with my phone. Works with this thing too, which is kind of nice. But we're going to switch over to that for time lapse, so the quality might go down just a little bit. Just a fair warning there. Why does it look like I'm always looking over here? I'm looking right at you. Anyways, trying to get a little bit better here. Yeah, but anyways, I'm going to switch over to time lapse here, and we'll see if we can get the top sheeting of the turtle deck done, and then maybe we can start working on the bottom sheeting yet today to see how quickly this goes. I know looks like I'm pretty far away, but I'm still really hopeful at this point in time of the game that I have time to do this. So the goal now is today's Tuesday, so by Wednesday or Thursday I would like to have the Corsair in covering, and granted I'm only working a few hours a day, and then that gives me Friday. I don't work Friday night, so it gives me all Friday night to get the Mustang fuselage built, put together, glued together, and sanded, and then Saturday is going to be kind of a modge podge of trying to get everything covered and ready for flight on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm still a little on the hopeful side. Dang flies. But, yeah, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, if I got anything important to say, I'll come back. But otherwise, enjoy the time lapse here. Well, okay, so I just wanted to show you where I was at, and I mean, this is about an hour later, and that's why I like the time lapse on the phone, because that was like what, two minutes or something like that. Anyways, it doesn't make these videos too long. A lot of sanding is going to have to take place, which is with any Corsair. Me and my buddy were talking about this the other day, and how difficult it is to, all the contours and everything, especially with the gull wing. So this is definitely the biggest challenge this week has been this course here. So, anyways, I fitted this. This is 1/4 inch balsa wood. I know it's just blocky looking and everything, but I will sculpt that and sand it to shape. The reason why I jumped back on the bottom was because I was tired of breaking off some of these formers, especially this one. My belly's getting in the way, and so this was provided in the kit. This spline back here, nicely cut piece. A lot of sanding. I mean, there's going to be just the gobs of sanding in here to get all this smoothed out and everything. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to tackle this front end probably tomorrow when I got a little bit more time. That's a lot of curve to ask out of them short little pieces like that, and I don't think I'm going to be able to form it very well. This one's going. This one wanted to crack. I heard it crack, so I already. Yeah, I got a crack right there. Not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna soak these in some Windex, and that'll make them a little more pliable. And then I'll glue them in. I see I got a little spline here to fit into place here on the bottom. So, and then there's a couple more pieces here, and then we got the tail section here, which I don't know how. Let's see how difficult these things are gonna be to install. Here's this piece here. These are pretty, they're tiny, and they got to bend. Well, I mean, I guess they're not gonna bend into place because they're so short. But we could definitely contour that and sand it. This is where the exit was at for the rudder, right here. I'm not gonna plug that hole at all. If a guy wanted to add a rudder, he could come in here and cut this open and make this hinged right here. You can almost see the outline where it was at. Maybe I didn't quite sand quite good enough. And then the holes are open in here for the rudder. And as easy as this guy slid into place, I imagine the other one you would probably be able to. Might take a little effort, but you could. If a guy wanted to add a rudder servo to this mix. I don't think you're going to need it though. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and add those in. I'll just glue them into place here real quick. So, well, maybe we'll experiment with these. I'll experiment with these a little bit tomorrow and see if I can't get it to bend a little bit, because there is a radius right here. Alright, so hopefully this ain't too bad for editing purposes. I got that fitting real nice. I got to push down on it just a little bit, but when we glue this on, well, I might not glue it on because the elevator servo is right there, and a guy might need to get to it. And these canopies are getting rarer and rarer, so we might just screw this down. I think I could embed some small pieces of plywood in the corners here to put some mounting screws in, just to screw it down. And if a guy wanted to add some detail in here, he could. I don't know that you would want to on a small model like this, but you could definitely add a pilot bust in there and hide that servo better. And there's room for a pilot bust in there. I know it's all dusty. So yeah, anyways, pretty happy with that. So I'm going to just keep on sanding on this structure, especially up here and along the sides and this bottom, and that'll probably finish my day out. Oh, I got to glue that down. Okay. So yep, like the time lapse. I don't know if you caught that or not, but I just sprayed the inside and outside of this with Windex. And I mean, she fell right over, which I knew it would. So when you get into these situations where you need to bend a little bit of balsa wood, just spray the ammonia. Does something to the balsa and really softens it. And also, and I don't know if it's just a weird thing. I guess I didn't get that all the way glued down. We'll work on that when we get the top piece put in. Um, but when I do, every time I do that, it makes the glue turn white. Oh, you can see that in there. Oh yeah, there it is. And it seems to dry really quick, even though I use thick. So yeah, and it makes for a really nice strong joint. Anyways, now we're gonna have to let that dry. That's the only downfall of that before you can sand it, because then it just gets gummy. All right, that kind of worked out like I thought it was. At first, I cut too high. Hey, we all make mistakes, right? See, I went to the yeah, where the sheeting's keyed together instead of going to the bottom like I was supposed to. Not a lot of glue in there. I got a little bit of sanding to do. Got to add my piece back in, and but yeah, that's gonna make for a nice big hatch. And then on the secondary things that I thought about is look how thin I made this. Where's that gonna do for our canopy? Where is it? It's around here somewhere. Probably lost that already too. Anyways, yeah, I mean it might be. I want this to be a quick release, to come out. So hopefully that doesn't interfere too much with the canopy. Let me go find it. It was so clear; it was sitting right in front of me there, making sure that she records. So, anyways, yeah, we're just gonna have enough. Might have to clearance that a little bit. Actually, that little bit of lip there will probably help out in holding this down. So I got to decide. I think I'll put the hatch latch up here. I got one of these things here to put in. So, well, that's going to conclude today. Like I said, today's Tuesday, so we'll see how far I can get done today. I might not get this uploaded tomorrow. It's been taking a little bit extra time to edit these, so might be a Thursday or Friday video just to get a little more content in here. It's probably going to be like a 20-minute video. We'll see. If you don't see this, then yeah, you're watching this Wednesday night. Well, I have no idea where we're at this week because this is Friday afternoon, so this starts my weekend, and we're slow progress this week. So I don't know. I'm getting a little worried that I ain't gonna be able to get these things ready to fly by Sunday sometime, probably in the morning because I got to work Sunday night. But I'm gonna give it hell. I got a football game to go to tonight, so that's gonna interrupt things a little bit tonight. But we're making progress. I think the biggest thing now is I want to get something across the finish line that I've been working on all week, and that's the fuselage here for the Corsair. And I got a little bit more work to do. I got got a big hole to fill down here, and still recording. Yeah. Got a big hole to fill down here, and I got to make a motor box for the engine, and yeah, finish the linkage to the elevator. And then sand some more, which I've already started doing, but got a lot of sanding to do. So anyways, let's go ahead and switch back over to time lapse, and we will yeah, try to get this done quickly but efficiently. So I've decided to go ahead and get the motor installed on this thing, because I think this might be a good place to put the ESC in here, because once I cover this up, I'm gonna not have a lot of access here without cutting a huge gaping hole. The ESC is pretty good size. There's that. Nice long lead on it. I think this is a 60 amp. Is what he said. Should have had this written down. Yeah, 65 amp. Oh, it says it right there. 65 amp V2. Lots of great features in this thing. Like I said, it's you can digitally program it for, like, most of your ESCs that I dealt with, the cheap ones. Um, they they only put out 5 volts to your servos, and this thing's programmable to put up to, I believe, 2 or 3 cell to your servos, so you can run high voltage systems like we're doing in the Corsair with this. So there's that, and then here's the motor, which I don't think I've showed you guys yet before. So this comes from Badass Motors. You can look these guys up at innovativedesigns.com. Nice box here. Very, very well packaged. So here's our motor. This is a 2820 910 kV. The 2820 is the size of the motor, 28 millimeters in diameter, and 20 millimeters long is how that usually runs. And then it's got a little bit of weight to it, not light like I'm used to seeing. 910 kV, that's 910 RPM per volt of your battery. That's how fast it'll spin up. And then it comes with this nice package. Of course, it has the connectors in there for your ESC in there. We don't need them because ours are already pre-wired. Heat shrinking, motor mount, or prop nut, back plate, some screws to put it into your, I think it looks like you're on your own for putting it on your firewall. We got a debro for that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start building out a box to make this. And we got to build like a standoff. I think it's a couple inches long. Basically, I'm going to set this thing up, put that on there. Yeah. Anyways, I'll set this thing up, and we'll see how deep it needs to be, and I'll make it accordingly. This is from Lucian Miller. It's the president and CEO of Innovative Designs. And he said if you want to go with a 4-cell battery, our badass 2820 910 motor would be a real powerhouse for this plane. If you intend on doing combat with the plane, you would want to use a lower pitch prop such as an 1155E on it. With that combination, you get the following full throttle performance numbers. At 14.8 volts, which is our 4-cell pack, it'll pull 40 amps, 597 watts. RPM 10,640 RPM. Thrust 88 ounces, which is 5 pounds 8 ounces, at a speed of 55 mile an hour. If you want to go fast, the 10.8 prop pulls about the same current as the 11.55 prop and would get you these full throttle performance numbers. 14.8 volts, which is, like I said, our battery size, 41.1 amps, 609 watts, 10,599 RPM, which I don't know why that would have went down. Thrust is 4 pounds 7 ounces, but speed is 80 mile an hour. This would be equivalent to a strong 32 to 35 glow engine. A 60 amp ESC would go well with this motor. I think that's the smallest one they sell is a 60 amp. For sport flying with normal throttle management, your average current draw over the course of a flight would be around 18 amps for a 4-cell 2200 milliamp battery, which is what we have. This is a discharge rate of 8.2C, which would give you about 6 minutes of flight time. A larger 4-cell 2600 milliamp pack would get you 3 minutes, and a 3300 would get you almost 9. So, anyways, that's what he emailed me, because I told him what I was trying to do and accomplish, and that's what he came up with. So I'm sure if you reached out, if you were trying to do a conversion or maybe an upgrade or something on a current electric platform, you could send him the specs and what you're trying to do, and he would probably come up with some kind of idea as to what you would need to purchase to make that happen. So anyways, let's get on with this motor box here. Now before you spaz out when you just saw me CA glue these sides on, I am going to come back and try stock this with epoxy. That is literally just to hold this the whole mess on while the epoxy dries. I've just found it easier to do it that way. We'll put some 30-minute epoxy down in there. You see me mount the motor here. This is just a little standoff. We'll try stock these corners and try stock the inside and the outside of these standoffs just so that it's nice and strong. Doesn't really matter which way the wire's coming out right now. We can clock this. Dubro 632 hardware. I did have to drill out the butter mount a little bit to clear the 632, so they must be some metric size, 34 millimeters, something like that they wanted you to use. I don't do metric here, so yeah. Anyways, we'll keep going with the motor box here and see if yeah, we can get this thing glued on, get the epoxy drying. Alrighty, so we got that motor box all glued up. Annabelle helped me get the tri-stock in the bottom. I'm going to let that dry for 30-35 minutes, and then I will repeat the process on the other side and glue the tri-stock in on, I don't want to touch it, glue the tri-stock in on the front edge here. It's quite a bit wider. When you're making your motor boxes, make sure you make them wide enough that you can get your supports in there. You don't want you don't want your slides to be right here. You want them out here so you can get tri-stock or pins or whatever you're going to use to kind of reinforce the firewall. So yeah, I went with 1/8 inch plywood on the sides, and I believe that's a 3/16 firewall, just a piece of scrap I had laying over there. Plenty thick enough for what we're doing. I do believe it's on par with what's already included there. So anyways, we're going to let that dry up real nice. Like I said, I just used the CA to kind of hold things together. And then 30-minute epoxy, it'll soak into that wood and make a nice strong bond. The other thing is if this ever has a bad landing and noses in, it'll break at the joint instead of busting that firewall out, hopefully. So anyways, that's the plan. I am going to forward you over to the Mustang over here. You'll be looking down at it, but I have got to get that fuselage framed up, so let's go do that next. Alright, sorry if this video is all over the place, but it's been a busy afternoon. Unfortunately, we did not win the football game, but it was a pretty good game. So anyways, update on the Mustang here. As you can see, I got the bulk of the fuselage done. Just like the Corsair, I had to go ahead and pre-build and got the elevator here covered. I was thought I had a roll of aluminum monocoat laying around that I really wanted to use on it, but I couldn't find that for the life of me. So this one's gonna get ultra coat instead, and black on the bottom for some contrast. The bottom of the wing panels on each model will have a list of all the suppliers that have donated to the project, and yeah, so we might do some fun stuff on the bottom. These are not going to be super duper scale. Of course, they're probably more than anything else. I had to cut a hole in the top hatch here for my servos to lay up against. And anyways, let's do a first fitting of our, which probably ain't going to fit very well because I haven't cut none of it. But this is the turtle deck. And as you can see, it's all one piece. So I'm going to do my best to match the covering, but you can kind of see how that fits on there. Of course, I think that's got to be brought down some. But there's a couple of formers up here up front that kind of line this up here. And then it goes to the cowl, so yeah, that's not starting to look like a Mustang anyways. Got a lot of trimming to do, of course, because you know it's still all this one piece. But I'm probably going to paint this with lacquer and that, and I'll try to match the silver as best as I can, or the aluminum, and then we'll have to paint up the black here and the black front. Yeah. Anyways, I'll probably get on to a time lapse here. I think the next thing to do here is going to be probably get the instruction manual out, but I did get a couple of these smaller pieces in, and I did cover the rudder, so I think it's about ready to get glued in here too. Yeah, something like that. I gotta look and see if there's any more pieces. Yeah, there's a P4 back here that needs to get installed, it looks like. But yeah, I'll have to find that. Anyhow, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That looks pretty neat. It's starting to look more and more like an airplane. Let's see how the wing fits in here. Yeah, not worth the damn in there. Oh, I see why there's epoxy all over the place. Great, I gotta dig that out. But yeah, so just a little update there for you. That's gone together pretty quick. I will probably get some more done here, and I think maybe we'll just do some updates like this for a little bit through the build. And I got to get a lot of this work done. I mean, it's Friday night, and these I'm not going to call it yet, but we'll see. So anyways, I'll bring it back when I got more to show you. Okay, so some progress has been made. I got to set this down for a little bit because I got epoxy drying. I got the elevator servo rod installed. I was able to get a Z-bend on this end. I don't know if you can see that in there. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, I threw some epoxy on our hard mounts here, and I tri-stocked the firewall in with epoxy. So obviously got to let that set. The fuselage on the Corsair here it dried up really nice. You can see my tri-stock in there, and I just put these in. to reinforce that nose because we just CA'd this together. So this will be nice and strong now. Just got to wait for things to dry, and then on to the next step with this. So what am I going to do in the meantime? Well, I am going to cover the Corsair wing, I do believe, yep. I'm going to go ahead and cover that up, and then, I know you can't see me here. I ain't got my hat on, nobody's too scared here. But, anyways, is that better? Got, get the Corsair wing covered and start doing that and start covering, but I gotta do, or the wing on the Mustang, but I gotta do the wing tip blocks first, so that's gonna take me a little bit, but by the time I get all that done, these two should be dry, and then we can work on getting the fuselages matching up with the wings and getting them done. So anyways, I'll pause you here again, and I'll bring it back when I got more to show you. Alright, boy, the lighting's bad right there, isn't it? Let's do this. Alright, I just thought I'd give you a quick update on, it's 2:45 in the morning. Been at it for 6 hours or so now. Got the motor installed on the Corsair. Looked at it, put a straight edge on it, and it's dead nut straight. So that's all we're really too worried about. And I thought it'd be a good idea to put the connectors to the motor outside the cowl on the chance that when we fire this thing up that the motor's spinning backwards, because you got to flip two of them around, because the ESC is going in here and it's going to get buried. So I used some Dubro hook and loop stuff to secure that down. Was quite surprised to see Dubro carrying Velcro. Probably going to be my go-to place for Velcro now, because you can get cheap stuff, but you never find something that works with whatever you already have on your batteries and stuff. So poked a hole through the top right there for the connector. So that's going to work out great for the battery connector. You can put the battery in there backwards, as I guess you would say, connector, or the battery leads going out the back, and that'll be an easy place to connect. And then we can adjust the battery for the CG too. So yeah, we got that going. I did some more sanding. I got a lot more to do. It's getting there, but she's still pretty rough. So that's where I'm at on that. Getting ready to start covering the wing over there, but kind of got distracted on the fuselage. Yeah, that is looking awesome. I had to get the first view here of the Mustang here. So she's black on the bottom. Supposed to dark colors are supposed to really contrast with the blue skies that you're supposed to be flying in. So I went with black on this one. But they said any dark color, that's a kind of a glider thing that they told me about. But yeah, that's going. The whole inside needs to be done. I got tank. I got to finish the hatch. Get the cowling going. I started cutting on the top here, and yeah, that's going to take a lot of fitment to get that fitting correctly. So that's where I kind of left off with the Mustang. So anyways, that's where I'm at. We're going to keep going here, and hopefully this thing will be blue and white here in the next couple hours. So anyway, stay tuned, and I'll keep you updated as we make progress here. Alright, it's check-in time, 7 o'clock. Been several hours since I've videoed anything, so where are we at? Well, okay, Corsair's covered. Excuse me. Got the hatch covered. Painted the bird's cage. I struggle with that thing, both of these, for about a half an hour trying to tape off the lines and to spray paint. I'm like, I couldn't get it done, so I just hand painted it. I'm not a painter. Keep that in mind when you're looking at this. I will trim this back when the glue sets, probably tomorrow morning. Hopefully that's the last thing I got to do. I need to get the hatch installed, get my hatch latch put in and stuff, get that installed. Do the elevator servo yet, but yeah, it's all covered. I think it turned out pretty well. I kind of did that white scheme underneath. I don't know if I've shown this shit or not. So that's where we're at on that. The wing is completely almost done. I got to do the aileron linkages yet. Next, I'm probably going to do that next. I'm just using Dubro 256 hardware for all this. And I got the, crack them. Ailerons are hinged. Crack this one. There we go. Okay. On the Mustang front, I got the motor installed. Fuel tank's in. Dubro 4-ounce. Throttle linkage is hooked up. So, I got a prop picked out for it. Makoa said 7484, so I think I got a 74 here. I think that's what I got on my P39 too. So we'll try that at first. I have no idea if that engine is going to perform well or not. That's a up in the air question. The wing on the Mustang is completely done. Got servo installed. It all works. Ailerons are installed. The bottom came out really nice. I'll have to clean these things up for sure, and I'll probably get a wax job in that once they fly. So, and I got started on, I don't know if you can see it over there. I got started on painting the canopy for the Mustang. I'm going to try to go see what the daughter's got for paint in there and see if I can match the silver somewhat. And that's what the rest of the inside's going to get, is that silver paint. So, I don't know, we're getting real close. I mean, this is on the verge of being done. If I had one more day, if I didn't have to work last Saturday night, they'd probably be done. I'm not calling it yet. I'm going to wait and see what happens tomorrow and through the night. It's only 7 o'clock, so I got several overnight hours that I could do to get them finished. We might have to wait for a maiden voyage, though. That's kind of where I think I'm going to land. But we'll see. I got to leave for work at like 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and get some sleep in. So I don't know if I'll get a chance to get up to the airfield or not. So anyways, I'll bring it back when I got another update. Yep. Well, I guess you can see a little bit of it over here, but the Corsair is, and you just saw the Mustang fire up for the first time. Yeah, we got some tuning to do, but Anyways, let's get this thing fired up. And let's see what this thing looks like. Yeah, I still got some glue drying on the cowl here. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen to see what I'm filming. This is the 1155E. Guess that. She's got some torque. Now let's see what she feels like. Definitely got enough. I haven't charged this either. Definitely got enough. And here's those really fast servos. I mean, look how. I gotta set rates up that either. That's way too much. Oh yeah, there's that. And then the Mustang. All I got left to do to it. Let me unplug this real quick. New connectors are kind of tough. There we go. There's that. Shut that off. I did put Tactic in it just for the flight. The Tactic receivers will not come with them when they're auctioned off. But I'll keep working on trying to find a supplier for receivers in these things. I know Henry at Toledo said he might be able to come up with a couple of Spectrum receivers to, for him to go with. Otherwise, I might talk to some people at Toledo and see, if somebody had a particular radio system, could they come and get a free receiver or whatnot. Yeah. Anyways, and on the Corsair, I also got the hatch latch put in from Debro. That's a pretty good cool system. I haven't used it before, but you just glue it in with CA, and then they give you a guide to cut it out. And anyways, I don't think it'll go anywhere just because of how snug of a fit it is in here. I'd like to have a couple magnets in the back, but unfortunately I do not have any right now. So there's that with the hatch latch installed. I don't think it'll go anywhere. Yeah. It'd be nice if that was. There we go. It's just a tight fit. I think she looks the part. I know it's white, but I would like to go around the top with blue covering, and then maybe checkerboard it or something like that. Or maybe I'll just checkerboard the blue right on the thing. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do there. Not going to happen in this series of videos. I think what we'll do is we'll revisit this thing in February or March or something like that, and scale them, put some scale details on them, or at least get some stickers on them and stuff to kind of make them look more like a warbird. Now the other thing is that they balance out with the battery all the way up in the nose here, right on the. It's kind of hard to balance a Corsair, but let's see, I'm right in front of the spar there. The spar is like right here. That's where it balances out at. So no weight, which is awesome with that. She's pretty light. I'd say maybe a pound or two. It'd be interesting to see what it actually weighs. Maybe I'll get my scale out later. With the Mustang here, I did get some paint put on the top here. Still got some touch up to do on the black. I might do that here now. It's pretty dry now. So all I gotta do now is, before I quit for the night, is get this installed. I am not going to bother with the cowl at this point in time of the build. Simply because by the time I get done cutting it out, show you the good side here. It's not too bad of a match. That's just water-based acrylic paint. I'll probably just I might just throw some screws in this thing, and that way later on I can add some more paint to it, because I'm just simply out of time. So yeah, I got to get this. If I was going to glue this down, I would have to get it glued down like now, just so that your glue will dry. But yeah, here's the cowl for it, and because it's so narrow, there wouldn't be, this whole corner here would be gone. So I might revisit this later just to clean it up a little bit, but not putting an inverted motor in it kind of killed the appearance of it. But I wasn't going to put an inverted motor in on a plane that is going to be belly landed its whole life. So and I also haven't done anything with the scoop or nothing on the bottom. It's also ABS plastic, so that'll come at a later date also. So are we there? We're flight ready. 98% there, 99% there. Got a few cosmetic things to finish up, but I want to get these things up in the air. So I think tonight I will. And I don't think I showed you the hatch on this either. I don't think it's really that big of a deal to pull a couple of screws out to turn this thing on. What I did is I soldered up, I took an extension and I put a JST plug on it and plugged it direct into the receiver, because I haven't had any luck with on-off switches from like Futaba and High-Tech with 2S servo setups, because of the amps that are involved in the mechanical switches are won't put up with those kind of amps. If you look even on Futaba's site with their heavy duty switches, they're only allowed like 2 amps to be current through, and them servos can pull 5 or 6 amps pretty easily. Will they do that in that setup? Maybe not, but ideally we would get a on-off switch from like FR Sky or something like that, but I'm not sure how big that is, and with the plane being so small, it might be troublesome to get in there and put a switch like that in there. Granted, there is a little bit more room in there, so the 4-ounce tank fits up in the front, the battery fits just below it, just enough room for all that, and then the receiver is in front of the servos. So yeah, but hopefully wish me good luck, and tomorrow we'll have fair weather, and so I'm not going to videotape any more of this, but I'll be here messing with that canopy a little, or that turtle deck area a little bit more, and yeah, and then off to the flying field in the morning for hopefully a couple of good maiden voyages. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and again, if you guys haven't saw the last video, you should go back and watch it. I do have a Dubro discount code. It's RC Barn, all capital letters, gets you 10% off at Dubro on any of the hardware or anything. It does exclude Old School Model Works kits, and there was something else, I don't remember what it was, but I'll flash that on the screen a couple of times. If you haven't, you've probably already seen that, but yeah, I'm kind of all over the place in this video, just trying to get things wrapped up. But yeah, check out Innovative Designs for your electric motor needs and speed controls. Check out Dubro for all your hardware needs. Check out make sure you go to Balsa USA for any Balsa kits, and especially like their glue and stuff. That's what we used here. I really like their kit, their glue. So anyways, I'll shut up now and let you guys get on with your day, and we'll see you on the next one.